You know, politics in this country is in a bit of a mess. I think we can all agree on that one. Now, there is what I call an establishment, a bit like any other country you care to mention. Now, that establishment is made up of the political parties or the political establishment, and also the mainstream media, whose job it is to influence how we feel about those political parties and exactly what's going on. Also, they try and influence us with other things as well, instead of just reporting the facts as they really should be. Well, it's become clear over the last, well, certainly 30 years, that the system we have in place for the governance of this country is in a hell of a mess, a hell of a bad place. I think we can all agree on that one. If you do, subscribe to the channel because you won't be alone. So, how do we fix it? Is it too late to fix it? I wonder. Well, if enough people come out en masse and use the facility that they have, the vote, then perhaps we can. There's an awful lot of disenchanted and disenfranchised people in this country that no longer give a shit and think that whatever they do won't make the blindest bit of difference. That is very certain. Now, what I've always been led to believe, and what's got me through life, is never give up. You can't, because you just surrender to the inevitable if you do. And that's what's happening to this country, piece by piece. We need a reform, a reformation of some kind. Now, is that a party? Is that an individual? Or is that a movement? Now, the biggest thing or the biggest hope that people are holding on to at the moment is the Reform Party, led by Richard Tice. And there are a lot of videos and a lot of criticism out in the media about Richard Tice, particularly with some of the things he's said and done, or rather not said and done, but as a whole, the idea is sound. You get a party, you fill it full of normal people that come from normal walks of life, that have had jobs, have run businesses, and are aware of what goes on in the communities they come from. It's, you know, quite refreshing to see a party like that. Now, when they're racing away in the polls as they are and, you know, starting to become a credible threat, then the establishment I mentioned at the beginning of this video gets a bit concerned about that, don't they? And they start, well, meddling with things, twisting truths, and trying to influence everybody's opinions, as they always do. Apparently the Mail on Sunday performed a little bit of a hatchet job with reform and zeroed in on certain candidates that were deselected because they probably felt it would make them look bad. Reform has put a statement out, you know, which you can see here, and I'll leave it on the screen so you can read it. And they've basically defended themselves by saying that you will get bad apples every now and again. Well, the bad apples should be vetted and weeded out. Now, my problem with reform, it's not the idea of the party or the idea of reform. It's the fact that you do have certain establishment politicians intimating a jumping ship and joining reform. Lee Anderson being one of them. Okay, he wants his country back. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt for the moment. There was a candidate for a mayor in one of the cities who was a conservative, jumped ship to reform. Simon Danchuk was, you know, standing as a reform candidate in a recent by-election, and George Galloway claims he was approached by Richard Tice to stand for reform, but ultimately declined. We've yet to see the proof of that, so it's just conjecture. So you see, there are establishment figures creeping in. No, that rings big alarm bells with me. Reform has to mean exactly that. No establishment, no blue, no red, complete stop, complete change, complete start again. Only then will we get our country back, in my view. Let me know what you think in the comments, as always. You know, maybe we can have a readout of this one at some point. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share the hell out of my stuff, and here's another video for you. Toodaloo.